What's up, guys? We're back with another NECA Turtles review, and we're taking a look at, honestly, it's kind of a weird release. We've got the Walmart exclusive Stern Pinball themed sort of loot crate style box here. So it's not a loot crate, but it's very much the same kind of thing. But this is all based on the recent, well, relatively recent Stern pinball machines in terms of the art. So like all of this artwork on this box is from that Stern pinball machine. And honestly, as far as the box goes, I think this thing looks pretty rad because the artwork on that pinball machine is absolutely wild. And this does look really cool. I mean, it's definitely very enticing. So you've got all the turtles, you've got April up here on the top, and then you've got the turtles, Krang, the Technodrome, and of course Shredder, because there is a Shredder figure in here. It is, again, like a loot crate style box. So, you know, we've got a bunch of things, and we'll talk about the stuff inside real quick. So you've got a magnet, which is a pizza, and it separates, it looks like it separates into eight individual pieces by the looks of it. So that's kind of cool. We'll throw that on the fridge. Got a Bebop and Rocksteady keychain. We've got a Krang beanie. So this is based on the Krang artwork on the pinball machine. So you've got Krang, and it's got little tentacles that come off the side there. So that's kind of cool. And then we've also got, in typical sort of, I don't know, crate fashion, you've got a t-shirt. And this honestly has some really awesome artwork on it. So you've got it's all the bad guys. It's got Slash, Krang, Mousers, Baxter, Bebop and Rocksteady, Shredder, and the Technodrome. I do, however, have a big gripe with this because these seem to only come in two sizes. They come in large, which is what this is, or extra large. And I don't wear either of those. I wear a small. So I can't really wear this shirt. It's absolutely massive to me. This looks way too big. There doesn't seem to be really any distribution for small, medium, or anything above XL right now. So even if you do find them, you know, the chances are you aren't going to get the size that you maybe need, which is a bit of a bummer because I do actually really like this shirt, but I will not be getting the chance to wear it, I don't think. Unless I can figure out a way to shrink it down super crazy. Beyond that, though, this guy is the likely star of the show, the reason why you're going to try to get this. So this is the Stern Pinball Shredder, basically. It comes in a single pack box, so similar again to what we've seen like with the loot crate stuff, so like the Mirage Shredder, Spirit Splinter, things of that nature, but it's covered again in all of that Stern artwork. So you've got the figure in the window, we've got the TMNT logo with a bunch of that Stern artwork on the front, on the side panels, and then the back of the box, in typical NECA fashion, has a big product shot of Shredder and then a few smaller shots of him as well. So let's do it. Let's pull him out and take a look. And here we go, out of the package, our Stern Pinball Shredder from NECA Toys. So again, this is a weird release, a weird figure for a number of reasons, and we'll kind of get to why I think that. But there are some interesting changes with this figure that, until you get it in hand, you don't realize are actually, well, changes. And that really centers on articulation. Obviously, he has a different color palette. I mean, that's obvious, you know, that's plain as day. But there are some interesting articulation changes on this figure that add a little bit of mobility and then, you know, one sort of quality of life thing, honestly. So let's see what he can do, see how he moves around. We've got a head that can look up a little bit, but not really much at all, but he can look down super far there. You've got a little bit of tilt side to side, full rotation, of course. Arms go out at the shoulders. They do rotate all the way around, but the shoulder pads are connected to the actual shoulders themselves, so they don't go with the arms, so you'll have to watch, you know, just don't stress them. You've got your bicep swivel, we've got double jointed elbows, you've got your hinges and rotation at the wrist. This guy does not have any kind of ab articulation, no crunch, no diaphragm swivel, none of that. Figure never has, so he's just got the waist twist down there, which that's one of the things about this guy that makes me realize that this is actually a pretty antiquated figure by the standards set by this line now. You know, every figure lately has had some sort of ab articulation or some sort of diaphragm cut, you know, save for maybe the Toon Vernon figure, just because of how he's constructed. But this guy, he's just a brick at the torso. It's okay, it's not the end of the world, but it's still definitely something that I would love to see improved later on. They did, however, change the hips on this guy because he has those newer style ball socket hips. So he doesn't have your standard disc hinges like we see usually. So you've got stuff like that going on, which are a lot easier. I haven't had any issues with them. Legs move very freely, no real issues to speak of. So he's got legs that go out that far. They do kick forward all the way. He's got the skirt thing going on, so you do have to watch kicking forward and backward. And then you do have a twist at the thigh. We've got double jointed knees. He also has boot cut shin swivel down here at the bottom. And then the biggest change that I think is the most important for this figure is that he has an actual disc hinge at the ankles. So the original figure had a ball peg, which had really limited range of motion on the rocker because it wasn't a rocker. This guy has full rocker, full hinge this time around, and he still has toe articulation. So I'm really, really surprised to see that. I thought this was going to be just a straight repaint, and while, I mean, he obviously is very much just a repaint at face value, he does have some changes, minimal changes, but they are really nice changes. I'm really happy to see those new hips, and I really am happy to see them move away from that ball peg ankle and give us a more traditional and more robust rocker disc hinge. Aesthetically, this is where the figure, well, in a general sense, in terms of the figure itself, seems kind of weird to me because, well, it's a toon shredder, but this is not done in the toon style in any way. So normally those figures have cell shading, they have the really strong line art as far as like, you know, accentuating musculature and going over top of like the biceps and the triceps, around the pecs, the ab area, things like that. This figure has none of that. There is a lot that is different between this figure and the regular toon shredder, and of course I'll do a comparison here in a minute. But at face value, this figure is very unique on its own. It's honestly pretty cool looking. Like, I think it looks all right. I really like the metallic paint that we've got for the chest, for the tunic, and then for his armor plating, and of course the helmet. I would love to see that on a regular toon shredder, just to have that kind of finish on a toon shredder. But what's really weird about this guy is that this is the pinball shredder, or at least everything in this set is supposed to be based on the pinball machine, but he doesn't have a purple tunic on the pinball machine. It's gray, silver really, and maybe not this silver, but it's not purple. So I'm not really sure what the purple aesthetic is for here, why he has a purple chest piece. I mean, I don't really know. I have no idea what that's based on. So if someone has any insight into that, please let me know. I do think it looks good. Like, I'm certainly fine with it, but at the same time, I don't know what it's based on because that's not the artwork on the game. It's not the artwork on this packaging either. Beyond that, let's just go ahead and do it side by side with the original toon shredder that this guy shares a body with. So let's move them a little closer together there, and you can get an idea of just how similar yet how different they are. They both still have the same kind of cloth cape with the little sort of bib that sits over top of their chest. It is what it is. I wish we had some sort of more robust wired cape, but I understand why that's not the case with this particular release. But they are very similar at the same time being very different. I do really like this guy though. I mean, he looks good. I've had no issues to speak of. Paint seems fine. QC on him is fine. I've had no issues there. The metallic finish is a really nice change from the matte finish. As much as I like the matte finish when it comes to being a very cartoon look, this guy's supposed to be something different. He's the cartoon look done up in a different way. So you lose all the line work and then you get a lot of metallic paint. Even the skin tone on his arms is different. He's got kind of a tan going, which I wasn't expecting to see. So there are a lot of little subtle differences, while at the same time, this figure is again very, very similar. I just, at the end of the day, really don't know what the metallic purple is about. I think it looks fine. It's kind of cool actually. It gives me Super Shredder vibes in many ways, but I don't get the inspiration behind it. Rounding this guy out for accessories though, this is where the figure is kind of a bummer because he doesn't really come with anything. All you get are some extra hands. So you get fists on him in the box, you get a set of gripping hands, and then you get a set of style pose hands. So like the 2-finger fighting stance pose hands. And that's it. He doesn't come with anything else. You know, he's not shown on the pinball machine as having a weapon. So he doesn't get the sword. He doesn't get ninja stars or anything like that. All you get are a bunch of hands and of course gripping hands with nothing else to grip. I do not like that. That kind of thing is very much a pet peeve of mine. Granted, I've got plenty of things I can use with him if I want to, but ultimately, it's just a figure in the box with a few extra hands. So yeah, overall, this figure on its own is pretty decent. Is he necessary? Absolutely not. There is zero reason that you should feel 100% compelled to go get this guy, unless, like me, you know, you're a completionist and you just have to have it all. I do think he looks really good. I mean, despite the fact that I still don't really get the metallic purple when he's not purple on the machine or these boxes, I think it looks good. The paint is really nicely applied. I love the sheen. I like the luster, and I do really like the articulation changes here. I like the new hips and I like the new ankles. I wish he came with some more stuff as far as accessories goes as well. The overall box is fine. I do think that the magnet's pretty cool. Now that I took it out, the magnet's pretty cool. The kiddo is loving the Krang beanie, and the keychain is being used as well. My one real gripe with this overall box is that they don't seem to have the shirts in my size, which is a bummer because I actually really like the shirt. I want to be able to wear that one, and unfortunately, large and extra large is just not going to cut it for me personally. I need something that's smaller. I need a size that is accurate to me, and it doesn't look like they did that for this release, which again isn't the biggest of deals. I will live without that shirt, I'm sure, but I'd like to have worn it anyway. So that's going to do it for this look at the NECA Toys Walmart exclusive Stern Pinball Shredder. Let me know what you guys think. Feel free to like, comment, subscribe, and share, and until next time.